Who's had their mind blown so far today? Yeah, it's amazing, huh? I have too. I mean, I thought, here's the wonderful thing about Bitcoin and about Bitcoin mining. You can think you know something about Bitcoin, and then someone opens your mouth and you realize you know nothing. Yeah, have you had that feeling? So someone described to me what Bitcoin is. I was in, I forget where I am, I've traveled too much. Madrid, thank you, a couple of days ago. And someone described Bitcoin very eloquently. It's everything you don't know about energy. No, sorry, everything you don't know about money, plus everything you don't know about technology. So that's what Bitcoin is. So what's Bitcoin mining? Bitcoin mining is everything you don't know about money, plus everything you don't know about technology, plus everything you don't know about energy. That's Bitcoin mining. So it's no great surprise that when we have this technology that no one's ever seen before, that some people might not get it to start with, correct? And what's been amazing and extraordinary, there's so many great themes about every speaker who's spoken today, but the thing that really is a unifying force to me is we're listening to people who are not complaining about how things are, but are doing something about it, yeah? Yeah. Batten is doing something about it. He's stabilizing the grid of Sweden. Charlie is doing something about it. They're stabilizing grids in Germany. We'd like to. They're working on it. They're recycling heat. 50% of the world's energy goes to heating stuff up. Did you know that? 50% of the world's energy goes to heating stuff up. Now, sure, you can say, hey, but some of it you're having to melt silicon to 1414 degrees Celsius. You can't do that off the back of an ASIC. Oh, sure, that's true. But there's a lot of stuff you can, like hot water, residential heating, tropical fish farming, fill in the blank. The innovations are just limitless. Rachel made the statement earlier about the energy trilemma. Do you remember what those three things are? Let's do a quick recap, see how well you're listening. Who is it? Security, thank you. What else? Sustainability and equity. Three things. Now, what does the political left care about most? And sustainability. What does the political right care about most? Security and stability, right? And we have these debates, don't we? Where one side's, now both are right, because all three are important. But because of the value set of different political persuasions, some groups will care more about one than the other. And so Bitcoin mining is not just a grid stabilizing force, it's a political stabilizing force. It's one of those rare technology where the left and the right and the center can all get what they want together. And that is not theory, that's exactly what Batten is doing. That's the reason he was able to get the political right, center, and left involved, because it has something for everyone's value set. And that's extraordinary in a technology, that it can be such a unifying force. So we're part of this very unique time in history right now, and a couple of people brought it up in their presentations. I didn't know, by the way, where's Bert? There he is at the back there, that the grid of the Netherlands was being stabilized by Bitcoin mining. So how many grids is that? We've got the Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, Finland, Texas, Norway. I mean, Australia, New Zealand. Did you know Australia's doing it? Did you know New Zealand's doing it on their grid? It's already happening. It's already happening around the world. And I want to make one thing very apparent, just in case you hadn't really got it yet. This point in history, we have not one force, but these two almighty forces heading towards each other. We have this biggest renewable energy transition we've ever had, which was causing more instability from the generation side than we've ever had on any grid ever in history. That by itself creates massive challenges to grid operators. And at the very same time, we have not just a new load, but the most inflexible and spiky load you could possibly design coming onto the grid at the same time. So you have the most inflexible, unpredictable generation source and the most inflexible and spiky consumption source heading towards each other. And without that shock absorber in the middle, as Batten was saying, there isn't another way that these two can coexist happily. One more thing I'm going to say before I hand it over to Kenji, who I'm very excited to have here, is that out of the Spanish blackout, and this is one of the things I said when I was in Spain recently, there was not one but 4 different really important agencies that all pointed towards Bitcoin mining. They didn't use the term Bitcoin mining, they said flexible load consumption, but that's just one hair breadth away, because as we've seen, Bitcoin mining is the world's most flexible source of consumption in the world. If you look at the different standards, it's what? It's self-sustaining. It has longevity. You can power down or power up for hours, days in fact. Batteries can't do that. They have a 4-hour discharge time. It's modular. You can do it exactly to the kilowatt you need or the watt you need. Can't do that with a power plant. Can't do that with batteries. It's second only to batteries in terms of its immediacy. So in 3 out of the 4 criteria for flexible load, it is the best in class. There isn't anything as good in the world today in terms of flexible load. So who has talked about the need for flexible load? Just these tiny little organizations such as the International Energy Agency, who said that we need more flexible load on our grids after the Spanish blackout. Who else said it? The Spanish government. And not just the Spanish government, but the ministry responsible for climate policy and energy said we need more flexible load. Who else said it? REN21, the UN-backed organization responsible for renewable energy policy, said we need more flexible load. And fourthly, Euroconsumers, Europe's largest consumer advocacy policy network. All 4 entities said we need more flexible load on our grids in order for them to be stable, sustainable, and have energy equity into the future. We are one hair breadth away from them saying we need Bitcoin mining. And we can make that last leap possible through our education. Not through our frustration, but through our education and our patience and our acknowledgement that sometimes the truth on your side is not enough. And I'm going to segue into Kenji's talk here. I was talking to Kenji this morning, and we were in the taxi van on the way over, and he said that he'd taken an ASIC into the leaders of TEPCO, Japan's largest energy company and the 5th largest energy utility in the world. And he talked to them about how these ASICs are incredible for flexible consumption. At the end of the conversation, they were like, wow, Kenji, you're a genius. You've now shown us the most flexible load resource that we've ever seen in the world. Now, for context, Japan had just shut down most of their nuclear facilities in the wake of the Fukushima disaster, which Kenji was actually part of coordinating the American and Japanese response teams on. He was intimately involved in what happened subsequently as well. So Japan has had to live firsthand what it is to suddenly go from very little to a whole lot of renewable energy onto your grid. And they have learned firsthand when you ramp up very fast just how much flexible load you need. And now you have these energy leaders who have suddenly seen that Bitcoin is a solution. And what's happened since then? Nothing. And that illustrates my point. It's not enough that we have truth on our side. It's not enough that we show them that Bitcoin mining is the world's most flexible energy consumer if we don't also understand the way that change happens. And that is, you're talking to people in positions in organizations. And most organizations, they don't function like Bitcoiners. They function like a series of different people who each look after their division with their concerns, with their KPIs. And they may know and freely acknowledge that Bitcoin is going to be the solution, but if it doesn't happen to align with what their subdivision of their organization is aligned with, incentivized with making reform into, no action will happen. So again, to complain about that is not going to cause us much good. Good luck. But to recognize that that's the way the world is and adjust our communication and find out and be curious enough to work out what do these people care about? And let me adjust my communication so that this truth is nuanced to what they care about, such that I can affect this truth. And I recognize that if any one of these 5 people doesn't say yes to it, it's a no. You have to get 5 out of 5. And this is the same whether it's institutional adoption of Bitcoin as an asset class or whether it's energy company adoption of Bitcoin mining as a flexible load resource. But we all have the capability, and in what we've seen today, we've seen not only people who are doing incredible things for the world, but have the ability to communicate that to ways which create change. And that is a precious combination.